If you go to Six Flags Over Texas and you're watching this video, this summer at the park is about to go crazy. We have an insane new coaster now showcased in the park, rides reopening for the summer, new shows, new updates, and even a horse. No joke. So with all these updates, here are the rules. Obviously, cover as many as possible, give the coolest one a golden smiley face, and find out if these updates make Over Texas worth it this summer. And with all that said, let's get started. Honestly, pulling up to the park, we couldn't have picked a better day to visit. The sun was up, it was kind of hot but not too extreme, and the views as you pull in look amazing. Okay, maybe they don't, but it's for a good cause. Yes, the construction wall did expand even further, which means an even longer walk, but it's all for our new coaster. And Over Texas is doing something very creative as they officially acknowledge our new coaster. No, I don't mean the announcement, but instead of doing typical teasers or pretending to hide it away, on their Instagram, they're showing the construction updates. So yeah, for some of you still not believing it's a Giga Dai, even Over Texas is teasing its record-breaking stats. And I for one am really excited, always glued to the fence to see what's next.
Hey sir, why are you staring at the wall?
I'm staring at the Giga actually. Anyways, not gonna lie, I'm excited because this is truly theme park season at its finest. So of course, everything has to be open. Hopefully. Thankfully, a lot was, and I had my sights set on one ride in particular. Alright, so looks like first ride of the day is gonna have to be Roaring Rapids. You ready to get soaked?
Yes.
But as we continued walking, something else caught my eye. I just knew this had to be the first ride of the day. Look, if they're running two boats, you have to ride it. This is us before riding Aquaman Power Wave.
Not soaked, no wet. Let's do it.
And this is after riding Aquaman Power Wave. We definitely got way more soaked than we thought we would. So our new plan was find a ride to dry off. But speaking of dry, I'm gonna take this moment to show y'all a pretty cool feature that Over Texas has. Misters. Because Texas can get very hot, the park has multiple misters in different areas. And some of them are pretty well themed. If you're not trying to get soaked like we did on Aquaman or Roaring Rapids, you can take a little walkthrough through any of these misters. Super refreshing. But anyways, we soon found which ride will dry us off. The only oil derrick you can ride in Texas, known as, well yeah, the oil derrick. Here we go. Not gonna lie, this ride isn't even that scary. Sure, it's 300 feet, but I was chilling. Until I remembered Final Destination. Let's just say the rest of the ride up became a very different experience. Here we go. Up here, my brother was terrified.
That is sketchy, I wouldn't do that.
For me, on the other hand,
At the top.
now while the oil derrick is a good place to dry off, it's also a prime spot to see all the new updates going on in the park. For example, Superman is back, so is Roaring Rapids, and Texas Skyscreamer, well, they're getting there. But on a different note, oil derrick is actually a pretty underrated ride. To be honest, it's not talked about as much as it should. It's a really good place to take pictures or just relax if you don't want to wait in a long line. Plus, it's rarely even full because most people don't even know it's a ride, probably because it's always closed due to high winds. But when you can, I definitely recommend it because it gives you some amazing views at DFW. And speaking of great views, I have a really good one right now. That's right, our new coaster. So why don't we check out the biggest update in Over Texas. The track is here, and I mean not behind a fence, I mean literally right next to us, and it looks huge. This is no joke, and I cannot believe Over Texas did this. But am I complaining? Absolutely not. Very rare do we see a park market their new coaster like this, as they usually hide it behind walls until the big announcement. For Over Texas, they really said show, don't tell. And now that we're up close, you can see that it's a mix between gold and brown, which is a pretty unique color for a dive coaster. To be honest, I'm not too surprised they went with this route to market their new coaster because everyone and their mama knows it's a Giga Dai. Which is kind of my fault because I made way too many Giga Dai videos. However, at the same time, it's also good because it promotes the new ride even before it gets announced. And that's why Six Flags is doing this. Now as for in-depth updates about Project Ruby, I will make a separate video about it. But there is one notable change. This wall. In typical Cedar Fair fashion, construction projects are usually hidden, especially if you have a lot of people peeking through the holes in the fences. So sadly, they covered everything up. But there's still plenty of areas around the park where you can see the construction. And if you want to stay really on top of all things Project Ruby, this little red button and bell will absolutely guarantee that you see all the updates on this new coaster. So yeah, if you don't already believe it, if this is just one little piece of track, which is not so little, this coaster will be absolutely insane and I for one cannot wait to ride it for 2026. Not to mention, but it's also been confirmed that Jeffrey Siebert, the man in charge of the amazing theming at Fiesta Texas, is now in charge of all the Texas parks, which also means this coaster specifically. And with the past works of him and his team, this ride will be special. So as for this update, I give it a gold smiley face. Also, I gotta mention it, but do not touch the track. If security was eyeing me like a hawk just for yapping way too much in front of the ride, I can only imagine what happens if you place your hand on the track. Anyways, once we left the Spain area, we soon found another update. Marcado is back. What used to be a ton of construction walls near the entrance and not very aesthetically pleasing is now completely done. Mercado de la Plaza is fully remodeled. Basically, they gave it way more space, combining the old DC Looney Tunes store with this store, and used the extra area for strollers and wheelchairs, which definitely makes it easier to find. As for the merch, there's not really anything new. However, the new store does look really nice. But you know what else is nice? Food. Which is why we're at All American Cafe checking out the brand new remodel. And also because we're hungry. The new food items the cafe is now offering includes Detroit style pizza, mac and cheese, chicken tenders, fries, and etc. So we got a little bit of everything to check it out. And because we're not sponsored, we'll see how much it broke my bank. $28.96. It was actually $38.96 and I have no idea why I said 20. Ouch. And mind you, this is one platter. Me and my brother were sharing, so we're tasting this with full-on judgment because I hope it was worth my money. First up, the pizza. Pretty big portion, which is really good. But the taste? Not bad. Is it the best pizza ever? No. But it's a lot better than what used to be here. For $17, you know, I could see that. So, why don't we try dessert? The newest desserts here at All American Cafe is cheesecake and a pudding cup. The cheesecake being about $10 and the pudding cup about $7. Both were pretty good, but the price, a little too much, especially for one slice. But still another great menu option. So out of 5, I give the all-new American Cafe a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, let's be real, this is a huge glow up to the original All American Cafe. All the new menu items bring this restaurant up to the same level as the other locations, which is really good because before I would truly skip this place. However, the main negative is the pricing. If it was almost $40 with us sharing food, I can only imagine a family. But then again, it is a good reason to buy a dining pass, which after today I might consider doing because now the food is actually worth it. Fun fact, did you know that Over Texas had live turtles? Cause we do. It's summer, so the turtles are now out and about. That one's giving me a death stare. Believe it or not, right in front of Superman, that little lake has tons of turtles to see. I mean, they got the whole squad. A pretty small update, but still a cool one. And I love how Over Texas has live animals in the park. And that's your fun fact of the day. Next, it's about time to check out an update on a ride that has recently reopened for the summer. That's right, Roaring Rapids. And based on how many people were leaving the ride completely drenched, I was a little nervous. We also found Ellis and some fans, so about to go get wet, right? Yeah! Ellis's face says it all.
I'm not going on that seat. I'm not going on that seat.
Chat, we could, bro.
Before you knew it, it was time to board, and once you sat down, there was no going back.
Wait!
We're good. We're cooked, Chad.
When the ride was over, we basically had a pool of water.
He said no. He said he was gonna get wet. He got wet.
Like this guy's fault.
Roaring Rapids is basically a spinning lottery. You can sit anywhere. Some of you will be dry, and some of you will be absolutely soaked, which in this case, it was Ellis. But either way, I'm so happy Roaring Rapids is back for the summer, and for that, I give it a gold smiley face. After that, we decided to dry off with Shockwave and hurry up to the Texas section for a new show. But first... Yep, we got horses now. Since we have an all-new cowboy-themed show, the park decided to bring out a live horse to take pictures with. So if you want to see it, it's always there before the show starts and after. But speaking of that show, it was started.
Take your pointer finger to the sky and stick it in your right ear.
This is the Texas Gunfighters, a pretty comedic show that contains guns, some actually pretty funny jokes,
They must have gotten this sweetie off TV.
and even some stunts. Overall, I definitely recommend checking it out, and it's good to see some shows back at Over Texas. So for that, this one also gets a golden smiley face. Our day was soon coming to a close, and we wanted to do one last ride to end the day. We checked Skyscraper one last time to see if it would open, and it didn't. So we chose an alternative option. Joker! So technically, Joker was supposed to be our last ride of the day, but rather said this.
Aquaman.
And he's gonna go get wet right now. I told y'all it was hot, so what better way to end the day with the water attraction?
Top 5 right here, top 5.
He might be dead wrong, but one thing's for sure, this is a great way to end the day. Of course, you got soaked, but hey, it was worth it. So there was one word to describe today, it was basically fun. The off-season blues have finally come to an end, and it truly feels like a theme park summer. With more attractions open around the park, more shows, and tons of new progress, the park definitely feels more lively. And I truly believe this will be a really fun summer for Over Texas. Not to mention we have many events ahead, and amazing people in charge who care about this park. So is Over Texas worth the trip this summer? Definitely. With more rides open and more things to check out, why not take a stop in the original Six Flags? And if you want to stay up to date on all Over Texas updates, including our new coaster, new changes, or etc., this is the channel for you, and you can help me out by hitting subscribe. Anyways, thank you for watching, and this is JB Thrills signing out.